It's my daughter's birthday, and I'm going to make her a high protein, high fiber, low fat, good balanced macros, healthy version of a Sopapilla cheesecake. I'm bringing you along for the ride. Why are we doing it healthy? Because I love her, and on her birthday, I would like her to not be someone that I don't like, which means I want to give her sugar in the morning. Maybe doing like a ton of sugar is not the best idea since we have party plans all day. This will hopefully get her all the way to the cake while still satisfying her sweet tooth. So let's get started. First thing we're going to need is we're going to need to make our high protein croissants. We're going to make them as bases, so I'm not going to roll them up, but if you do like this recipe, you can use it as a regular croissant as well. First, I'm going to do 1.5 cups of cottage cheese, and I'm going to blend it. But one thing I like to do before I blend it is I like to drain it a little bit. So I've got a strainer here. I'm going to go strain it. You kind of press it with a cloth, or I guess like a paper towel if you have to. I just use a cloth. And then strain it out, and then we'll blend it in the bullet. I strained quite a bit of that juice out, so now I'm going to go ahead and blend it. This is honestly, I think, the most tedious part. After this, we're smooth sailing. All right, much better. Toss that in. Like if you don't do this, it just doesn't quite come out. We're mixing all of our wet ingredients before we do our dry ingredients. And then we will do your typical baking thing. Mix the wet ingredients with the dry ingredients. Next, I'm adding about 1/4 cup of monk sugar. We will do monk fruit. You can do another sweetener if you want. Again, it's my favorite. It's expensive. Use a different one if you want. Try not to crack your eggs in the bowl. A little pro tip there. 2 eggs. We're going to do 1.5 cups of egg whites. And we're going to do 1.5 cups of fat-free mozzarella cheese. There we go. We're going to mix her all together. One final thing to our wet ingredients. We're going to do vanilla. Oh, it's probably a tablespoon. I'm a guesser when it comes to my flavors. I've got to get better at that. Next, we are putting together our dry ingredients. So I'm going to do 3/4 cup of gluten flour and 3/4 cup of oat flour. If you want to just do oat flour and you don't do gluten flour, that's fine. There's just like 23 grams of protein per 1/4 cup in this. So it really bumps up that protein amount quite a bit. But the oat flour is really good too. I mean, it has 4 grams. There's a lot of fiber in this one. So I kind of like the mix of both. There's protein in this one, fiber in this one, best of both worlds. Next, we're going to toss in 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. This is really good for baking. I really recommend having this if you want to bake a lot of high protein, high fiber foods. A lot of your recipes are going to have xanthan gum. So highly recommend you have that in your kitchen. 2 tablespoons of psyllium husk. I'm lazy. I'm just going to use a teaspoon, which means 6 teaspoons. I don't want to wash anything else. So 2 tablespoons. Why am I doing this? Because fiber and protein are the most important things you need in your diet. This is tossing that fiber in there. I'm going to mix this up, put my wet ingredients in my dry ingredients, and then I'm going to let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. While this is sitting, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the oven at 350. Hopefully you're watching ahead of time and not cooking with me, and I didn't mess that up for you. Probably should have done that before. We're going to do 2 cups of non-fat Greek yogurt, just the plain original, 2 of the 8 ounces, so I guess 16 ounces total, of the 1/3 fat Philadelphia cheese, cream cheese. I'm going to toss in some lemon, whatever amount of vanilla I do, a generous amount, because I'm not really good at knowing how much I do. I did 3/4 of my sweetener. I'm again using monk fruit. Use what you want. And then cornstarch. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice if you're not just doing a full lemon. And then the cornstarch, I like adding this to thicken up the yogurt, or else it'll get a little runny if you're substituting some of the yogurt for the cream cheese. And now I'm going to take half my dough, now that it's been sitting here, and spread it on the bottom of my pan. Sticky, so one way to kind of spread it without touching it is to use parchment paper. So I'm going to bake this for about 10 minutes. Look at that fluff. Now we're going to flip. That's going to be our top piece. And we're going to do that one more time. So I'm going to go rinse this off. We'll spray it and we'll do it one more time. Watch. This is a trick I've learned. Obviously, wash your hands first. Look at that. You have to do it a lot though. So, I mean, if you're not okay with Pam, I guess you could use butter, but that kind of defeats the purpose of the low cal thing. I like doing the Pam. It keeps it less sticky. It'll still be sticky, but not as sticky. Just switch hands too. I brought it out of the oven and then I layered it. So we put in our filling and then we just flipped over that topping. And now we're going to put in the top. I'm going to melt 2 tablespoons of, I can't believe it's not butter, the light version, because it has about 35 calories per tablespoon. Maybe that's 3 tablespoons. We're going to melt that. We're going to toss this butter on top. Oh boy, it's going to be so good. And we're going to sprinkle it with some sugar and some cinnamon. Now I'm going to bake it in the oven for 30 minutes. The first 20, I'm going to have foil on top, and then I'll take off the foil the last 10. I'll show you what it looks like when we are finished. So I'm so excited. It's fixed to come out of the oven. I'm going to let it cool on the counter for a couple of hours. After that, I'm going to toss it in the fridge. You could probably do 6 hours. I'm going to at least do overnight, and then we'll have it in the morning. I will show you guys what it looks like in a second when it comes out, and I'll show it to you when it's out of the fridge as well. So you'll see both. It looks amazing. 1/12 of the pan, which is like a normal serving size here, would be 210 calories with 26 grams of protein, 13 carbs, about 3 grams of fiber, and 6 grams of fat. That's it. That's it. Guys, you know what this tastes exactly like? Sopapilla cheesecake, except with half the calories and like a million times the protein. I'm so excited. 10 out of 10, y'all should make this.